Welcome to Spotlight Gulf Coast, a weekly showcase of people and events across South Mississippi. Spotlight Gulf Coast is partnered with William Carey University and sponsored by the IP Casino Resort and Spa, the Trenchard Scholarship Fund, and the Butch Ostelet Foundation.
Hi everyone, this is Todd Trenchard, Executive Director of the Bienville Foundation of South Mississippi, welcoming you to another segment of Spotlight Gulf Coast, right here on WXXV. Each week we're coming into your living room talking about what's going on all across South Mississippi, and we want to thank our sponsors for this generous opportunity. Well, it's time for Steak and Steak. Of course, that means it's getting hot. I can remember this from as long as I've been around in the community, and of course we have Yvette Vogel and Jaleesa Bolden, and appreciate, ladies, y'all coming on. And Yvette, I think the last time you were on TV you had a different last name, and of course you worked together and then went over to the Chamber of Commerce and had a great career there, and now you're at the Boys and Girls Club doing great things. I read all these little reports, and obviously you get down into the details, and you know, that's good. Well trained. And Jaleesa, you're with the Moss Point School District?
Yes, sir.
And also the chairman of the board. So you missed the meeting. That's what we like to always say. But that's a very important position. You know, the chairman obviously is the person, is the executive director's right-hand person, and you know, keep them going and see what, you know, give them the tools they need to succeed.
Yes, sir.
So I know that Jennifer's done a fantastic job, and Steak and Steak, of course, staple in our community. Let's talk about that, because that's what we're on here for. And let's start with you, Yvette. You know, what can we expect this year?
So we are so excited that it's our 33rd annual Boys and Girls Clubs of Jackson County Steak and Steak Dinner and Silent Auction. It's going to be at the Jackson County Civic Center in Pascagoula. It's going to be on a Thursday evening, June 26th. And we still have tickets available and sponsorship opportunities. And we are so excited to showcase everything we have going on, including the first time ever our Alumni Hall of Fame program.
I saw that. That is something new, and I think it's a good thing to recognize those, because, you know, the younger kids look to that, and it gives them something to strive for. You know, and of course, Steak and Steak's always associated with the fairgrounds. I mean, I always had it over there. My favorite memory was Jason Lee as the chair, head of Mississippi Power, and the AC went out, and he backed up trucks. He said, "We're not going down on my shift." He pumped in there, and it came off. It came off. Of course, it always comes off. And Dorothy Shaw. I always remember Dorothy's going to get all your auction items.
Yeah.
Since the beginning of time.
Miss Dorothy's still getting all of the silent auction items, and we have some pretty good silent auction items this year as well.
Well, I know I used to always try to go get the green eggs, you know, from Blossman, and you know, that would be.
We've graduated from the green egg and gone to a really nice gas grill from Blossom. So we have a really nice gas grill that goes, like, people are always excited about that item.
Right. I think the green egg had its moment, but it's too heavy for me to even lift. Now, Steak and Steak's generally a time to recognize what different people in the club for. I know there's different, Youth of the Year?
Yep.
Is that announced that night?
No, so that's still during that evening. This year we will recognize our 2025 Youth of the Year, Mr. Kendrick Cooley, who's a Moss Point High School graduate, and he actually was a salutatorian for the class of 2025. He will give his keynote speech at the event, so we're really looking forward to that. It's a big night for Moss Point, because we are also giving Moss Point the Eddie Kayak Leadership Award. Moss Point School District does a lot to support our Moss Point unit, which is will be named after Catherine Glaude, and doing a lot of things in kind to support those students in that unit. So they will receive the Eddie Kayak Award, and The staff of the year is always acknowledged, and that's a surprise, so I can't tell you who the staff of the year is right now, but that person is always acknowledged. And then we're adding the Hall of Fame component this year, so we'll be acknowledging some Hall of Famers as well.
Right, it's a great night to recognize, and you know, there are some people that step up above and beyond. Of course, Eddie Hyatt is the highest award that you can get, and I remember the year that I guess we got it, and I wasn't even paying attention. You know, we're out running plates, and you know, Joe would always be up there, and you know, great time having, you know, the steaks. Now, are we doing steaks, or are we doing hamburgers, or?
So we are doing steaks. So steaks, we have started, and last year was our first year where we started a local blend of how we would do the steaks. So the steaks are actually purchased from the Blind Butcher in Pascagoula, and we're really excited about that. And that they're grilled on site by Buddy's House of Ribs, and they'll grill them on site, and then we have another caterer to do all the sides.
Right.
The adults still have 12 to 14 ounce steaks, and the students and the kids there, they have 6 to 8 ounce chop steak, but it's still a great time, and it is a delicious steak.
I know I've been to so many over the years, and you know, I've gotten to see you know, some famous athletes at times that were brought in, and that generally, you know, the keynote, but always felt that, you know, the real stars are the kids, and that's what it's all about. And in fact, I think I was one of those in the board meetings that said, you know, we need to start giving out more awards to the kids. Forget us. You know, this is what we do as a labor of love. Now, I know you head up a board of directors. Of course, everybody on the board is, you know, that's a time they can get involved and help. What are some of the needs that we have, you know, with just a couple weeks to go?
So sponsorships and tickets, we still have tickets available. Individual tickets are $125. You could buy a half a table for $550. You could be an advocate for $1,000, or you could be a presenting sponsor for $5,000. So we just want to make sure that we have people in the room. If you have a business that you want to donate a silent auction item to, we're still taking silent auction items as well. But our biggest push is getting people in the room, selling tickets, companies, organizations, churches, anybody who would like to support. The money that is raised for Steak and Steak go directly into our Boys and Girls Club and serve our students in Jackson County. So we're really excited about it, and we got a couple more, 2 more weeks, and we're pushing hard. We're pushing hard.
I think that if anybody wants to give $10,000, we'll let them sing "God Bless America."
Yeah, well, you can be on program. You give $10,000, you can be on program.
So that, you know, again, and it goes for a great cause. Obviously, Boys and Girls Clubs have done so much in our local communities, and you know, again, it takes a dedicated board, a dedicated staff, and it just never stops because there's summer programs. So, you know, it's not something where you get to take off for the summer. That's you get ready for the next year. And ladies, I think we've got the brochure that we're going to put up with the QR code. You can do a lot of this just by going to that. I don't even understand that stuff. I mean, I'm like, it really does go somewhere. I always thought it was just some weird stuff. But I certainly appreciate y'all coming on, always on a Thursday night. What time does it start? 6:30, you said?
6:30, and that's when the silent auction opens, and then the dinner is from 7 to 8:30.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you ladies coming on over here. Good to see y'all, and y'all be safe going back.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
like
you.
Pretty good little trek over here in the Wild Wild West.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us.
We're going to take a short commercial break. We're going to be back with Bienville Orthopaedic, so don't touch that remote. Welcome back, everyone. Of course, we're now joined by our friends at Bienville Orthopaedic. How do we know that? We've got Mr. Lee Bond, and I've got on my cowboy boots, and that means that it's going to be a show. We're going to talk about just about anything, Lee, because usually that's the way this goes. But all seriousness, we're going to talk about Bienville Orthopaedic, and you brought with Miss Bobby Shiles.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And Bobby, we were just meeting, and you were telling me a little bit of, I guess, some of the things I didn't know, because I hear all these terminology, and sometimes we take it for granted. But I'm I just had to come out with it. What's the difference between a PA and a nurse practitioner? And but Lee answered that like he always does. But we're going to start with you, Lee.
Sure.
Let's talk about Bienville, because I know since the last time you were on, you know, a lot of things were happening. Y'all were getting ready to open up urgent care.
Yep. And here we are. We've got it going. Bobby is there serving people every day. We're very excited about this option that we offer the community. Somebody is out doing something and gets hurt, they can come right in, and Bobby's really good at just taking care of them right away. You don't have to wait. It's really a great service to be able to offer the community. I'll go back real quick to your NP versus PA versus physician. NP and PA are different but similar. They're both, similarity is they're an extension of the physicians. And so whereas Bobby may be the one that has the knowledge to diagnose your problem. Okay, this is what's wrong with your shoulder. Let's get you x-ray, MRI, whatever diagnostic test you may need. She's going to set you up with the actual surgeon who might perform if you need surgery. For example,
Right.
Dr. Harrison needs to operate on your shoulder, or Dr. Lease on your hand. She would set you up with them and put you on that pathway. But yeah, lots of exciting things going on at Bienville. Urgent care is certainly one of the many big things. We have her location at East Lake on Highway 57 at the Van Cleve Ocean Springs exit, and then we also have one in Orange Grove in Gulfport.
Okay.
So,
where is that at in Orange Grove?
you go up Highway 49, take a left on Dido Road. It's
Okay.
right there.
So it's on the left there. Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering, I know that y'all just recently had the ribbon cutting, or it's one of the last
Yep.
ones that y'all did.
Yep.
Of course, I'm very familiar with Cedar Lake, very familiar with 57 over in that area there.
You know, we also have a location in Pascagoula, and
Oh, yeah.
I guess the world will know this very soon. We haven't put out the official announcement, but we're talking about it internally. We're going to open a satellite clinic in Mobile, Alabama. So,
Okay.
excited about that too.
Yeah, and it's, I think, again, going back to the urgent care, those are so convenient. I think a lot more people are starting to utilize that instead of going to a hospital. And, not everybody has to go to a hospital or emergency room.
Right. Maybe give them some examples of the types of things that you see that come in that you take care of.
Yeah, we see fractures, we see sprains, strains, even chronic things like osteoarthritis. They have a flare-up, an exacerbation of something chronic, but just anything orthopedic related. Sometimes we have some significant traumas that come in. So just a variety of anything orthopedic related.
The other day we had a lady that slammed her hand in the door, comes in, Bobby's able to figure it out, take care of her. Just about anything with your bones is something she can handle.
Lots of students, lots of athletes, lots
sports.
of geriatric older population. And anything in between, but nobody ever plans for any, accident to happen, but they happen daily.
Right.
So that's what I'm here for.
Fall off a horse.
Right? I'm not going to get on a horse. I don't have to worry about falling off the horse. That's, that probably does happen quite a bit. I mean,
I've had a few of those.
I mean,
horse
you talked
accidents.
about falling off ladders. I got about halfway up a ladder the other day to clean out my gutters, and I was informed by my neighbors that's not normal behavior for somebody my age.
Well, we were just
Anyway.
talking, we just were doing a TikTok with one of our doctors about what's something you never would do as an orthopedic surgeon. And Dr. Cox said, don't get on a ladder. And we asked her about what's the most interesting case you ever saw with the...
A guy fell off of a ladder and shattered his elbow in like 50 pieces.
Right.
And Dr. Lewis said it was the worst he had ever seen in his career, and that was a pretty bad one. But
a ladder.
pickleball is probably what I would say not to do. I have a lot of pickleball accidents.
It's like the mind continues to work at a certain pace, but the coordination in the hand is just a second behind.
Yes.
And before you know it, I remember hitting a baseball one time, and I was rounding second, and I was going, but my feet were up here. And I was like, I'm headed down.
Yeah.
But that's,
A lot of sports injuries that we have. People, people are active. Things happen. Life happens. And that's why we're here to, get people back going quick.
So Bienville's footprint now is really the entire Gulf Coast region. You're going into, even Alabama there.
Yeah.
Of course, a lot of people that live here are over in Alabama.
Yeah. A lot of folks that work at Ingalls and Chevron live on the other side and vice versa. And so it's just one more opportunity for us to provide a service to people that are in Grand Bay, Theodore, Irvington, Biola Battery, that area. They drive all the way over to, Ocean Springs, Biloxi, Pascagoula, and we have a great doctor, Dr. Patton, that wanted to join our team. And so that's part of the excitement is just to get another person of her caliber, the high quality providers.
Now the urgent cares, they have access, like anything, a computer that's communicating with other, I guess, databases, and so you can maybe see a person's sort of history.
We can, yeah. We're connected with a lot of the hospitals, and sometimes we
you'd
can
have
pull
to be.
those records or those images right over.
So if you were to go in there and you thought it was, you had a, sprain in your leg, but it's really a heart attack, you're on the phone
Yes, we have
communicating
access.
with the hospital to get them into, an ICU or
Yes,
something
we can
like
do
that.
I tell people she can fix anything except a broken heart. We got to send you to the cardiologist for that.
That's right, and I've been to that a few times, and I've been highly impressed with the professionalism of the entire, team, and still working with Dr. Blanchard, but every single thing that we're doing is, the right thing to do, following the path.
Absolutely.
And, it's just amazing what technology has enabled people to do. Before, I guess by now I'm on the game.
It is. The technology it's ridiculous. Whether it's imaging, MRIs, the way they can do knee and hip replacements, and all of that. But I have to say that one reason that we love what Bobby does and Chrissy in Gulfport is service. That is our number one thing at Bienville. We are hyper-focused on service. Her and her team, Kayla, they take care of people. When you come in, we want you to have a good experience and us to do everything in our power to get you back to life as soon as possible.
I thought I was special when I went in there. They all knew my name. They all said, Mr. Trenchard, your room is waiting. I said, Lee has called you and told you I'm coming right now.
Bobby and I'll joke. I'll bring somebody. She says, everybody. I said, we don't try to treat just because you're Todd Trenchard. We're going to treat everybody like VIP.
Right.
Is that our kind of our mantra?
Yes.
It really is. Okay, we're going to take a short commercial break. We're talking about Bienville Orthopaedic, so don't touch that remote. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We're talking about Bienville Orthopaedic, and we were talking about the service they provide, being somebody that has personally visited. It really is. Lee, that is one thing you've always promoted from the first time I ever met you. Yes is the answer, and it's just been pounded and pounded, and it's followed your career throughout it, and it shows. There's nothing to miss. It's almost like an enthusiasm. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, but why not make it a good morning?
Credit to John Lucas for that. Service is a differentiator, any business. Casino, healthcare, and that's our goal. Provide service like none other.
That's right. That little sting with the little shot feels a little less when they're smiling at you.
Right.
This is going to really hurt you. Yeah. Now, Bobby, you're local. Would you say you're from Wiggins?
I'm from Wiggins.
Tell us what got you into, I guess, the thought of being in the medical field.
Well, I actually started out to be an accountant. I had no desire to be in the medical field whatsoever. And I graduated high school at Stone High School, and I started working at a little local clinic there in Wiggins, and it had 3 physicians and a nurse practitioner in there, and I didn't know what a nurse practitioner was at the time, but it always seemed like her patients just really, really, really liked her. Like she would always stay booked up, and the doctors, they could get anybody in, but it seemed like she formed almost like relationships with these people rather than just, hey, let me refill your blood pressure pill.
Right.
And it just seemed like she always made a difference in their life. And I was like, you know what? I want to make a difference in people's life. And I said, I want to do that. And so I went to Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. I got my associate's degree in science. I went to USM in Long Beach campus, actually,
Right.
and I got my 4-year RN degree. And then after that, I moved to Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I went to University of Tennessee and got my nurse practitioner degree. So I was a nurse for 5 years, and I've been a nurse practitioner for 15 years.
Okay.
So, and I've been with Bienville now for about 2 years. And it's been great. It's been a wonderful experience. I feel like if you like what you do, you don't feel like you work a day in your life. So
Right.
I really enjoy it. I love working there. I love taking care of our community. And so that's how I ended up in healthcare. Never planned on it. That's just the way God took me.
That's right.
That's what we love about her. That's the kind of people,
Yeah.
people who love their job, love what they do, and have that servant heart that want to just take care of people.
I talked
It's
about that when I was
awesome.
at the Home of Grace. Every time I drove down Jericho Road, I get goosebumps.
Yeah.
I mean, like I was anxious to get to work. If I went them in the bed, I was anxious to get to work. And that's, what do you call it? Grit. You call it whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a passion for what you do, and it
it's a
makes a
game
difference.
changer.
Yeah.
Now, Lee, let's talk a little bit about some of the new services that y'all have. You were talking about ankle and foot,
Yeah.
which is sort of rare to have.
Yeah,
on
so
the coast.
we have, of course, a lot of standard services that we've had for a while that are great. We call it subspecialties. And the newest one we have that we are thrilled about, he just started, Dr. Rodriguez, is a foot and ankle surgeon. So in the past, I guess, Bobby, if somebody came in, you'd have to send them to
Mobile.
somewhere else. But now we can take care of those complex foot and ankle fractures. And he's a specialist in that area. So just like, as you may have Terramina, at least that's specialist for hand, Dr. Cox, Winters, Graham and Burks for spine. Our sports medicine doctors that we've got, Noblin and Lewis and Brown and all of those. You've got now Rodriguez, who is like the foot and ankle specialist. And
Right.
so that's what you want to see. You want to see somebody who is hyper-focused on that area. We got joints. You got Tucker and Wintersheim, who that's their thing. So you want the person that has a fellowship training in that area. And so I think he's one of very few in the entire region. So we're, as you can tell, I'm excited about it. Bobby and Chrissy are excited about it because we can take care of people right here at home.
Yeah, it's like I said, hadn't been to pain management was another. Just how they're following a protocol, not just going, hey, surgery.
Right.
No, that's the last thing.
Right. Absolutely.
Let's try everything.
Yeah.
It may take longer, but you'll know at that point that this is, and you start to respect that type of decision. And 20 years ago, you probably didn't have the knowledge to know that you had those options.
We do anything we can to avoid surgery. There are some situations where, an accident or something, it's unavoidable. But there are things, various types of visco injections, or we actually do PRP. That's another thing we do. We're into getting in the biologic space. There's a type of platelet-rich plasma injection they can do now that has a higher efficacy than some of the traditional injections. And so there's just a lot of things like that we can do. But I guess the main point is specialists. We are happy to have people who really specialize in what they do.
How many doctors total and say around?
16?
Actually, 21 now.
Oh, my gosh.
We also have a neurologist, the two pain management specialists, and with the addition of Dr. Rodriguez and Patton, I think that brings us to 21. And we also have 21 extenders. So, you know, Bobby's counterpart, Chrissy, who does urgent care. We have extenders who specialize in pain management, you know, spine, whatever specialty is out there. Feet, we have a podiatrist. So whatever it is, we're now complete with foot and ankle.
I appreciate you coming on. It goes by quick.
Yes, sir.
It's the first time you've been on TV?
No.
Good, no? I mean, natural. You want to host the show next year?
I don't know if I'm ready for that.
We'll do it.
Appreciate y'all coming on. Of course, anytime you
Yep.
keep this going.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having us.
Appreciate all that y'all do. So we appreciate everybody's support of the Bienville Foundation of South Mississippi. And until next time, this is Todd Trenchard saying so long and may God bless.